So today we are going to do an easy speed run. So for that we're going to do easy Nightshift, but also going to do mutators, and we're going to have our Eco 5. So I'm just doing this to show you how quick you can do easy on. So realistically I wouldn't recommend doing easy for gaining levels. As you see here, you do it for gaining role mastery typically, but you wouldn't do it for gaining levels. But until you get that high level mastery in a role and you're doing solo, I would recommend doing easy. Let's take a look. Cool, so we've got Mutated Swarm. It's going to give us a nice couple of levels. It's just the standard break rocks. So just do there. Build a pylon. Build a base there to give us more vision. And what we're also going to do, just to make our life much easier, we'll upgrade it all to faster. So for speed runs we're using game time, just because you can adjust your game speed. Because the game speed matches the nights and the day counts. So now we just do the Archon, just because it breaks rocks in one hit. Just 'cause it gains a little bit more resources a bit quicker. And at the minute we're trying to save up for the command center, so we're just waiting on the red. Okay. So now that we've got the red, I normally like to get a little bit more, just to give us some more to build the initial SCVs. So I'm looking for probably one more tick of red from rocks. Okay, there we go, got a nice double there. Should quickly put the wall HP on. There we go, that's all our SCVs built. Can't build any more. So now this is where we start getting in a little bit more APM. Because now they've got the probe set up, get a command center, and we start increasing. So at this point the SCVs will massively outpace you in terms of what you can mine. That doesn't mean you don't want to be breaking rocks and being efficient with your time. But this will be a nice little warm up for when I go and do normal, and then elite, and then hopefully nightmare. Ooh. Yeah, so with the wall getting low like that, I'm gonna do placement. And then right now we're just gonna go round. Oh, one of those wasn't farming. So what we can also do is probably put a firebat there. And it's up to you really, you can either go break rocks or you can stay mining. And what I'll probably do first is have a look to see what I'm doing well at. In this case I'd say purple, let's kill a purple. And then that was my mistake. So actually I didn't need to do that. I just didn't have the base. That was my mistake. So we're going to max those. At a point we should get a couple of levels in this. So because we're low on the Vespine, I can just switch one of those over. Yep. Then I'll go to T3, and then I'll just get one up. Let's do 2. So at this point it's kind of, you take how it feels, because we're trying to save up for getting our golden refinery, because golden refinery effectively then makes that one refinery worth 4 refineries. And as we're playing solo, we are limited to just one of those. We'll get our wall up again. It's probably a little bit late, but because ideally you want level 3 on night 3. We've only just done it on night 4. That's because we had that basic healing that was helping us out a lot. So at this point is when you want to start getting the skilling right, because we've got cooldown. We'll just go to this K menu and we'll use the plasma gun. Yep, so there we go, that's that one done. And then we'll go to the next level of base. And we'll prioritise that, and we'll change this one over to blue for now. As you can see there, the Vespine's doing quite well. But the rest of them aren't. At this point we're actually going to cancel the specialisations. So just get lazy, select all of them and just do the hotkeys. Just easier. Just get level... Oh, gen accidentally slightly higher than it needs to be. But it's fine. And we're just going to max out these first 8 refineries before we start selling off SCVs. So a little short on the red, so I'll just switch over. I'll just drop a nuke just for the sake of it. Just so you guys don't keep being spammed by the not enough minerals, I'll just click the icon here. Because you only get the not enough minerals if you use the hotkey to do it. I say the hotkey, you get it for clicking on the icon when you don't have the appropriate minerals. Whereas if you just hold the hotkey, it's like you're keeping pressing it. So we go, those ones are done. So at this point we have a look to see what rest we're doing really well at. Purple, so we kill off with purple SCV. And that will give us 2 more. Almost enough. There we go. So next we have a look again. What resources are we doing well at? Vespine and Ruby is doing alright, so let's just kill one of those. There we go. So as you can see there, bosses don't die overnight, that's why even on easy it's recommended you kill those golems. Okay, so now we're just going to kill one of those and one of those, and we're going to do 4. And then we're also going to get the first level upgrade in the base, which will give us access to another 4. So I've got 8 that I'm doing now. And at that time, my wall almost died. Which means that I need to upgrade my healers. This is why it's really important to keep an eye on your wall, even as you're upgrading the eco. It's one thing to have fast economy, but if you don't have a base, then there's no point. And especially with the mutated swarm, my wall is going to take a little bit more damage because these are going to do more damage than the standard zergling. So at this point we decide which 3 we're going to kill. I'm going to kill these 3. And then we're going to get the final upgrade. In a multiplayer game you're going to want to do that one at a time, but because I'm playing solo I already have a load of maxed already, so I'm just going to do all of them at once. And at this point eco is done. This is done as well, so I can keep it that around if I feel like I'm going to lose the harvester, but I think I'll be alright. So now it's a case of just leveling stuff up. So the fact that I left this at level 2 probably didn't help either. So because this is easy, we don't actually care about damage too much. Because the whole point of easy, you want to just tank. So this is why we're not really going to be worrying too much about purple. So you would have just seen me finish up the build. I've just got to add a little bit more at the bottom there, and for laser placement, but that's pretty much it. For this run, I'm just going to focus on a 2 laser build. This will be assuming you've failed the middle artifact as well, so it becomes a little bit easier to replace or replicate. Sorry. Okay, didn't find one down here. So we've already got one, which means there's only one more on the map. And we're using the Hell's Angel just because it's safer. Because it's a flying unit, it doesn't aggro the ground units. And now we're just going to upgrade these. Do these 2 as well. So the other thing we're going to do is we're just going to replace this wall here. Final firebat, and we're also going to do the same here with this one. So we're just doing that for a little bit more damage, and then we're going to sell that because we don't need it anymore. So we're just going to cut red production for now. So we're going to get a little bit from this gold refinery and the fact that I'm mining red at the minute. But we just want to finish up upgrading these. Doing my best to leave the one at the back there because you only need either 1 tier 5 or 2 tier 4s healers just to keep a mineral alive. I was going to say, if you want more easy runs that don't have Mastery 5 eco, you can look at my channel. I've got a couple more videos on there on the 0 to hero run. If you look at the earlier videos, that's where I show you from literally the basic probe, because this at the minute is the Nightmare Icon, which you get for beating Nightmare difficulty. So at this point I'm just going to do shields. Max that one. And we'll max these guys. Yeah, as you can see here, the damage is starting to fall off because they're not killing these guys that quickly. But that's fine because we're not after damage. Actually, at this point, I'm going to hotkey all my refineries and we're going to do single resourcing soon. shield done on that one, shield on that one. We'll do 2 levels on the outside ones. And then we'll build a diamond wall. And then we'll change all of this to Vespine. We'll switch those last ones over to red. Just so we get 1,000 a tick. The whole concept of this down here is it's supposed to take the overmind, but there's been a bug that's been quite prevalent in the game, which means that doesn't happen. So right now we're going to do purple, and we're going to save up for a laser. And we're going to place the laser down here. So I'm going to get about to 80 and then I'm going to swap it. Oh, a bit slow on that. So now we want 80,000 blue. We're actually going to leave it on blue for a second because we want to build the artifact afterwards. And by the time we finish doing that, we go back to Vespine, just because Vespine's a safe one. Okay, so we change it to ruby, get 40,000 for the artifact, and then we change it to purple, just going for the 90,000 for the artifact. So the artifact does need generators, so because of that you want generators right on it. So now we'll get the shields up on the laser. And we'll do a couple more on gens, and then we'll switch back to Vespine, sorry. Do a couple more. So what I'm going to do now is switch these ones over to ruby. So that's 12. That's half of half of them going to gens, half going to Vespine. So at this point I might as well change that over to ruby. I'm going to switch 3 of those over, so we'll go 9. Then what we're also going to do is just build a couple more gens. Oh, and then what we'll do is actually kill these two, just don't need them anymore. So at this point I can end. I find 16 heal upgrades is kind of the sweet spot for this difficulty. So I'll get to 16, I'll get the laser, and then I would normally target the overmind. But actually what we're going to do, because we've got mutated swarm, is going to wait a little bit longer. Because if I was trying to end it now, I would likely die. Whereas the mutated swarm gives us additional range, additional HP, or additional damage. And that can be in the form of attack speed, or it can be in the form of damage, flat damage. It's difficult to tell because I'm killing these pretty quick. Kind of want them to build up a little bit. So because of that, we'll wait a little bit longer. But we shouldn't really need to go anything further than, say, night 20. And because I've got the additional plasma, I'm just going to dump it in there. But I'm not going to switch any of the refineries over to plasma now. So just end at the start of night 20. It's generally a good habit to end at the start of a night. It's mainly important for when you're playing with mines, because you get the resources at the start of the night, you can afford to sell them. So at this point, the whole point is we just want to tank. So we don't want to do anything. We're just going to hit quantum, just get rid of the corruptors, because the corruptors can sometimes kill the sides. I would just see here, look at the HP, it's surviving okay. What you may want to do is just add some HP to these ones, and then you do the same in the top, just because it's in the same AoE. And then yeah, just hit it again, because it will kill some of them, but it doesn't do enough damage to kill everything, especially with the mutated swarm. So we can do that, and you can see all round stat increase on that one. Some of it's just damage reduction, some of it's damage reduction and armor. As you can see there, the middle, we're just tanking it. And this is pretty much what you're doing. You don't really want to be killing anything. The whole point is you want to tank. And we know we're good on energy because none of our healers are running out, which is again the sweet spot. This is what we want. And these are building up, but they're not building up to the point of it's absolutely killing us. If you were, you could manually micro them to start killing some of the roaches. But the reality is you probably don't have enough damage to do any of that. Yeah, because you've got to think these are doing what? Yeah, 4,000 damage against a roach that's 2,700 HP with additional damage reduction. Yeah, life leech and increases speed. But yeah, unfortunately this kills the corruptors really easily, so it just stops them shredding our outer walls. And then it should be a waiting game. Just keep upgrading sort of your generators and your heal rate, and you should be fine. And if you're curious of like the exact placement on these Teslas, the way I work it out is you have firebat there in that standard position next to the statue. You then have a firebat there, and then it's one space for heal, one space for heal, and then you've got another 9 box of heals, and then you shift this 9 box of heals up. So I call it a 9 box because you've got 8 heals surrounding one generator, so it's 9 buildings. And then over here the Teslas are always one away and then one up from the bottom, so that's that corner position there covered for you. Again, just hit the energy nova, and what we've noticed here is actually our base has died, so we can always choose to rebuild it. But that is easy mode. I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe.